You mentioned the My Financial Bridge. Now,
Mhm.
can you tell me a little bit more about how you came up with that and how you use it to help your clients?
Oh, yeah, sure. So I've been working with people for almost 30 years. And what I found was that they just weren't organized. In fact, I had a lot of clients who years would go by and they'd call up and they'd say, "Do you have a statement for something or another?" And oh, yeah, we have it in our files here. Back then it was all paper files. And I knew
Mhm.
you would have it because we gathered that information and we organized it and collated it in such a way that when you went to look for it, you could find it. That's just not the way we live our lives. We do the things we need to do, we pay our bills, we put it away, and we forget about it. And so over time, I realized that it started out more as a binder, and we were putting things in binders. And as technology advanced, I realized we just need to have a placeholder to know that we have these different things. And that was really the idea behind the bridge. Was these are all of the things that we have done with a client over the continuum of relationship with them. And by doing that, it also helps identify things you haven't done. Sometimes we'll meet someone who's in or going into retirement. There might be some things that they haven't put into place, such as, say it's a life insurance policy. They have an old life insurance policy. Maybe that belongs in their plan or maybe it doesn't. So we're going back and looking at what they've done to see if it still applies going forward. So that was really the idea behind it, is it is a visual to show all of the things that you've done, the things that you need to be thinking about going forward, but also it's a way of looking back and seeing what you may need to revisit. In some cases, remove because it's no longer necessary, or change because what you started with made sense at the time, but now you need a little bit of a differentiation there. And that was the idea behind the financial bridge, is to be able to show a client, one, what are the pieces that we need to put into place? And then once we have that and it populates into their bridge, now you can see, yes, I've filled in these blocks and I have these things that I need. When was the last time that I looked at them? So if something's dated 2019, maybe it's been a few years, and we need to go back and revisit that estate plan or those beneficiary designations. So it serves as an agenda as we go on with the client relationship and the client's conversations.
Yeah, that sounds like a great tool. I'm a visual guy myself, so seeing something kind of laid out like that sounds like an amazing tool. Can you possibly share me of an example of maybe somebody who used the My Financial Bridge approach and maybe help the client gain better control over their financial journey?
Yeah, I think all of the people that we work with, we really try to bring that together. So I would say one of the things most commonly that as I mentioned, is I wouldn't say people are disorganized. They're just not as organized as the Goot Financial services
Yeah.
are organized.
Yeah.
And so that's really what it comes down to, is we'll sit down and they'll start asking questions like, I'm thinking about doing one thing or another, but there's a tax implication there. Oh, well, do we have your tax return? Oh, here's your financial bridge. Yes, we have your tax return. We can now have a conversation around that. So that's how we've used and how clients use and succeed with the financial bridge, is we'll talk about Social Security. And that's another question that comes up. When should I take Social Security? Well, we need to know exactly what your benefits are going or intended to be from that statement. That's something that we've captured along the way. Maybe, Justin, I'd ask that for you now, and you're thinking, well, here's my statement, but I don't need to really worry about taking Social Security for a while. But when you do, we at least have a starting point for the conversation. And that's what I think is really unique about My Financial Bridge, is when you sit down with a financial planner, you're typically have something top of mind right now. This is something I need to address right now, or what I think is really important to talk about. And that's usually where we meet people. And I sometimes talk about the financial bridge as you can enter the road from any different point. Everyone doesn't start at the beginning and get to the end. Some people will kind of come into the bridge in the middle, and then we need to go back and look at it from looking back that way. So we're gathering that information and helping getting them organized. And that's what that conversation is. We do the thing that matters the most to the client at first, but as the conversation continues, more and more and more starts to get uncovered. And along the way, we've gathered the information that we know is going to be necessary. And so we're having that conversation with the client and not saying, oh gosh, now we got to go get more information. We already know what we need to know about you, so we can go right into the conversation and have a deep understanding of what matters most to them. If you liked our video today, please share. And if you have any questions or comments, let us know. And if you'd like to start a conversation, we'd love to talk to you at goodfinancial.com, and you can sign up for a conversation there and answer any questions you may have.